What's up, guys? Kicks and Shit Show, Gerard and Gabby, we are back. Gabby, what has your week been like?
My week. I don't even know. What day is it today? We've got a weird schedule filming this week. I don't even know, but I didn't accidentally buy sneakers this week. I do know that.
Oh, that's good.
So we're winning. Yeah.
That is a win because, sometimes people accidentally bid on sneakers and they got rent to pay and it's tax week and they play themselves.
You played yourself. I want to play like the Ebro soundbite right
You
there.
played yourself.
So you know. Shouts to Hot 97.
Well, listen, we had all our fun with our Cypher Don't Get Gas sound last week. So, and by
Is this
we,
going to be reoccurring every episode now that you're going to say that?
and by we, I mean me.
Living your best life, Rod. I appreciate that.
Listen, it's a wonderful time. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do out here. Listen, it's COVID times. It's crazy out here. The government's not extending unemployment for people, or at least the unemployment benefits. So people out here losing their minds. Listen, man, it's rough, but we are here to bring some lightness and levity to the people. That's what we do.
Got to give the people what they want.
Got to give the people what they want. And so we definitely do that. This has been a fantastic voyage, shouts to Coolio, that we've been on, with this show. Right, you like that drop, right? You're like, ooh, I didn't see that one coming.
No.
We've really been kind of in a groove, rocking with these sneakers, and there's all these drops been going on, and we've talked so much about hype beast culture, who can get, who can't, this, that. And today's show, we're gonna have an awesome guest. We won't tell you who it is. We'll wait to reveal when she comes on. But a small business owner, someone who loves sneaker culture, and who is near and dear to your heart because her focus is ladies. Like, yo, we might want to do some stuff and hook the women up, right? And like many things else in the world, right? So many things that we are into or that exist in the world were created and designed for men, right? I mean, unfortunately for women, right? But now we're starting to see so many women out here represent, do their thing, start their own businesses, and show that, hey, women are into this too. We've got some cool stuff we're interested in, and I'm excited to talk to her because I really want to get into what the focus is and what the idea and the impetus behind her brand and what motivated her. So I'm excited for it.
I am too. I mean, we did a live with her recently, and she was a great guest on our very first live. Shouts to those who tuned in. And I just think that it's interesting hearing other female perspectives in the industry and the struggles that they went through trying to find pairs in their size. And not all launches are created equal for men and for women. I mean, that's why I'm rocking a beautiful Ballin' for Peace Equality shirt today, because that's what we're talking about today is equality and how women play in the game that started out as a man's game.
And on both sides, right? Not just the sizes in the shoes, but just the industry in general, right? Like, I like sneakers. Like, if you're a woman, how do I work in this business? How do I become a brand influencer, a brand marketer, all those types of things that typically have gone to men. So, and we're seeing some change, but as we know, progress is slower than a mother. So, we're seeing some change, but hopefully, as we're sort of a moment right now, historically, and as a society, really, as human beings, hopefully that as we're all starting to recognize we need to treat each other better, we'll start to see some real change in industries like the sneaker game. Anyway, stay tuned for our special guest.
I'm excited.
Hey guys, we are back, and as promised, we are not alone. We are with Dali, the incredible woman behind Sinners Love Sneakers.
That's me. Hi, guys.
So good to have you on, Dali. And, Gabby obviously had you on during her IG Live a couple weeks ago. And, women in sneakers is a passion point for us here on Kicks and Shit Show. Obviously to Gabby personally. But I want to, before we get into all that, start from the beginning, right? Let's talk about your journey. When did you fall in love with sneakers? How did you get to this sort of like obsession with this culture?
So let's see. I've always been into sneakers. I was a huge Jordan fan, like during middle school, high school. I would have to say my favorite pair were the Jordan 11. Do you remember the all white ones that came out with the baby blue?
Yeah.
I went to a basketball game. It was like we have these two private schools, Notre Dame and Colby Cathedral. So you know how they have those games? I could not wait to wear those. Me and my best friend had them. We thought we were we were flexing. We were flexing. So I think 11s have to be my favorite. And then as I got older, I did the wearing heels and stuff. But then once I hit my 30s, maybe 28-ish, I was like, that's a dub. Comfort, and comfort. So I kind of got back into it. I always keep things stashed. I usually just like to get things and then I won't wear them for like years. And then I'll just pull them out. And so I got a lot of stuff hidden in my stash.
Show off that heat.
That's a moment.
Yeah.
So in essence, what she does, Gabby, is she dead stocks for a while. Then all of a sudden, she shows off that heat. It's like, oh, it's like you ever see, and then people see it, they're like, what are those?
For sure. So, and that's basically it. So I've always been into sneakers. I never had like a particular brand that I rocked with, like that I can say like, oh my gosh, I love, because I think all the brands put good effort into the creativity of their sneakers. But I have to say, I've worn Saucony's, Diodora. What else was there? There were other ones.
Diodoras were fresh back then. I had a pair.
Do you remember Etonic?
I do. Yeah, of course.
And the Pumas. The Pumas used to be a hit back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of tapped into everything.
Okay. So you said that you think all the brands do a good job of creativity, but it's something that we've talked about on this show a lot. That is true, but Nike seems to have a stranglehold on the market. Now, do you think that's because of just their longevity? Because look, Nike doesn't put out heat every time. They put out some but they don't seem to have that dip when they put out not great shoes. Whereas another brand, they put out something whack, and you might not recover from that.
Right. That is very true. I think it's because they've been around. They have history. And I don't know. And Nike is kind of a hype thing, especially for the younger crowd and age group. See, for us, I think we understand it more than they do. So, damn, that is right. Like, if brands mess up, they are on their neck.
Yep.
Gosh, I'm thinking about that. Yeah.
Because when you think about it, right? Nike will put out some whatever, and you're like, all right, these ain't fresh, but they don't go nowhere. But you or Adidas or whatever, you put out something whack, and it's like, yo, it's a wrap. Like we're not messing with you for a while. Like all those brands have had dips in their appeal, their broad mainstream appeal, right? Reebok was hot for a while. Puma was hot for a while. Adidas, they all had their moments that they were hot for a while. Nike been that steady run, man. They're like, nah, we here. We just good. We just keep putting out. Like, we just here.
And I think Nike also is more willing to take a risk than other brands. Mm-hmm. So I do have to say that, because I think that's part of the reason why. Let's see, what's a brand that I can say? I don't want to say Adidas, but they do.
Actually, the same thing as that the Adidas does, but they kind of followed Nike's model with their risks that they were taking. They saw the success of Kanye, for example, and then they were like, yo, we got to get him on our team. And then that's where some of the riskiest shoes come from with Adidas. It's still from that same Kanye West think tank, like that insanity genius mix that you're like, this is kind of trash, but it's kind of amazing.
Who's a good one? New Balance.
Yeah.
They take risk here and there. I think that if they take the full risk, I think they would be okay. Even if they did mess up. Because, at the end of the day, they are comfortable. So, they got that on them.
New Balance is interesting because they're trying to step their game up, as obviously their basketball brand has improved with signing Kawhi Leonard. And that's a big part of it for Nike, right? what makes them so attractive to the marketplace is they generally sign the biggest athletes and sports stars, right? And particularly basketball stars, and they are the most visible, right? The most famous basketball players in the world, almost 9 out of 10 of them wear Nike, right? Like, that's just how it goes. And that's a huge coup for Nike to get all the kids and everybody to like, all right, I got to get these.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And Nike's got, they got the leagues on lock too, right? So where New Balance used to be in charge of the MLB, now it's Nike.
Yeah, Nike's everywhere now. They have all the NBA uniforms. They have the NFL, like they,
Yep.
you know, and that stuff does go cyclical, right? Like you bid, you come down, you rebid, whatever. But it really is about those transcendent athletes that the brands are able to capture. And really, since this, and to your point, Dali, you mentioned it to start, it's Jordan. Like, the man has not dribbled a basketball in damn near 20 plus years, but it don't matter. Like, that name still rings out, right? Like, it's like, yo, I mean, these young kids don't know nothing about no Michael Jordan. Never seen him play basketball. They're like, I don't know who that dude is, right? But them shoes, they know that. Like, and that just him being that first, and it's something about that is so entrenched that I don't think it really can't move from the culture. It's just there.
It's just there. I totally agree. It's just there. Lucky him.
I know, right? And it's funny because I've talked about this with other sneakerhead friends of mine, that Air Jordan 1s, like, they're having a serious moment now, but they didn't used to be where they were. I mean, because they're not as comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got to pay a price to look good. So it's fine, you know, like my toes will recover later, but it wasn't the hot silhouette back in the day for that reason, because they weren't as comfortable. I mean, even Jordan says that in The Last Dance, that they made his feet bleed, which is wild to me, but it's the hype.
And that's, I think now that you mentioned that is part of the reason why I kind of stayed away from ones. I recently just started tapping into Jordan 1s. So I guess what is it? Like, if they're all leather, let me think. The all leather ones seem to run a little bit more tighter, of course.
Yeah, but they stretch out a little bit more.
Right. And then I think all the ones that I have are all leather. So now I know what size it's not 6.5. Yep.
Now you know. No,
so we could share. Okay.
That is true.
I go between 6.5 and 7. So
I have an adjustable foot, by the way, so I can fit like 6 and 7.
Just pop those insoles out and you're good.
Right.
You know, you're so funny about the ones. The ones are having a moment, to Gabby's point, right? There are so many colorways with the ones. Like, I mean, I can't even keep track how many there are. I mean, every time it looks like I look up, I'm like, oh, we're releasing another pair of ones? Like, all right, cool. And to be fair, like, I got to increase some ones into my collection as well. I mean, we know the ones that I really want, but ain't nobody trying to spend money on those right now. But, I mean...
Let me...
I was going to say, share with the class. No, don't guess. I like that.
Union one?
No.
All right, give me a color hint.
They're off-white.
Yes, they're off-white.
They're off-white.
Aww.
Yeah, the off-white ones in powder blue, I'm like, yo, them joints are fire.
Those are super classic.
I like them. I like them a lot.
That's
how do you
purchases where you have to have like the original non-off-white and then those.
No, I agree with that. How do you feel about the mids, though? I think that mids are like trying to have a moment, and personally, I am here for it.
I like mids.
But mids are very controversial. Like, you don't get the hype. They don't do raffles for mids, and they come in some fire colorways. And like, I don't know. I think Jordan's onto something.
I don't have a pair of mids, but they definitely are making that comeback. I think that's Nike trying to cater to just about everyone. So it's like, okay, you didn't get the ones, the OG highs, but you'll take these, because even when I go in the sneaker stores, they're like the mids. People want these mids. And also, they're more affordable.
They are.
I've seen that lately they've been coming out with a lot of Jordan 1 lows too. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all.
Well, I will say I am a fan of the Jordan 1 lows, especially in the summertime. I love a good low. And Michael himself, his daughter Jasmine talks about this. I mean, he essentially now all he rocks are one lows. Like when he's just like out and walking around, he's in one lows. I mean, that's his shoe of choice that he wears. And there's something about that look. It's classic. Again, especially in the summertime, I love a good one low.
Yeah, I think I might have to tap into those. I like the baby blue and white color.
Listen,
Yeah.
that
UNC?
That UNC blue is woo.
It is.
I don't know. I'm going to stick with my Air Maxes in the meantime. I don't know. I can't get into the low ones.
It hit different, as the kids say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
All right, so you were loving Jordans, and then you always stay close to sneaker culture. But how did that transition you from there into Sinners Love Sneakers? What was it about starting something or that got you to be like, you know what? I'm going to try something here.
Okay, so people always would say to me, oh, you always have great sneakers. Where do you get your sneakers from? So I would play around a little bit. And if I'm in the city and I post something and they're like, oh, I want those, I'll get them. It's not a big deal. So I'm like, okay, people think I'm plugged or I am the plug. So I'm like, what? Let's make this real life. And one night I was sitting in the car with my partner, my Kia, and I was like, what are we going to name this thing? And I looked over and there was a truck that was parked next to us and it said SLS. And I was like, what 2 words? Like, so at first I said Sinners. And I was like, no, that's a little raunchy. But then I'm like, everybody sins.
Yep.
And everyone loves sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oh, Sinners love sneakers. And
Okay.
we were with it. And we let it sink in for a little bit to make sure that we liked it. I like the initials, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And, we ran with it. And it's trending.
I love those serendipitous moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't like you guys were like, all right, let me put up a bunch of whiteboards and throw stuff at the wall. How about this name? No, you were sitting in the car. You saw SLS. You said, what? 2 words. You're like, you went right to Sinners and you were like, oh, hold up. Everybody sins, which is true. Whole lot of sinning going on in these streets, right? And then sneakers, you said, well, hell, Sinner. And there's something, pun intended, devilish about that, right? Sinners love sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
It taps into that side of you that's like, oh, okay, a little something there.
Oh, well, I like shoulder shaking here.
All right,
Yeah.
calm yourself. All right, relax over there.
No, but I think there's something very serendipitous about it. I mean, even when Gerard and I were brainstorming the name of this show, we're like, what do we want to talk about? Let's think about it. We want to talk about kicks and shit. And we're like, gonna marinate that a little bit. So here we are. Welcome to the Kicks and Shit Show.
Sometimes people just think too much.
Yep.
Like, just let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it go. And it is what it is. And then some people just forget to be real. So it's just like, kicks and shit, like, stop fronting like that's not something you would say around your friends.
Right.
We're talking about kicks and shit today. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I love it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Love it as well.
We love Sinners, love sneakers. So, okay. So people thought you were plugged in and you were the plug. So how did you start acquiring the merge? What was the process for you to like put it all to start putting it together?
So we had to find someone that would be able to provide large quantities to us. And that was something that we would have to invest in. So we invested in that. And it was all a learning experience for us. And I'm still learning the game. Because, it's one thing to wear sneakers or sell sneakers at a sneaker store, but to be like a trusted reseller it's
a resource,
tough.
yeah.
So that's why I'm just not in the same lane as other females in the game. That's why I appreciated when she reached out, because most people don't reach out to me. They're like, oh, what is she doing? Nothing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the field with these guys, and they're not nice, by the way, all the time, but whatever.
Oh no, of course not.
So we had to invest in inventory. So we kind of play it safe because we have to figure out, okay, well, what are the popular sizes? And that's tricky sometimes with some releases.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, they're wanting the kids sizes in the Jordans. And it's like size 7 is very popular and like 5.5. And I'm thinking, oh, well, it's like a 6. because every time I want a 6, it's never around. So what's up?
Absolutely.
So, like, play around a little bit when we were buying the inventory and selling it. So I think now we have a grip on it. And there's several resources that we use because when we sell out, now we have to outsource a little bit more. So on a constant basis, I'm always networking. I'm always out of town. I'm always meeting people. I hate to touch on the backdoor situation, but it goes down. You just got to find the right person. Because guess what? If you ask me, we got Foot Locker and Nike and everybody else backdooring StockX. So
that's true. And we were talking about that. It's a good point.
So, and that's basically it. Punches. So hopefully I'll get in tune to where, you know, I want a store.
Okay, a little storefront. Okay.
I do. I want to create something for my generation because I think that's missing. Like, we have the young people who are in their whole thing with the sneaker culture. Older people, they're kind of over it. They're OG and set. But then there's us. We're so mixy, not in a bad way, but we're not afraid to like dive in or touch into this or get in tune with something else other than Jordan 1s or Jordan 4s or whatever it is. So I appreciate that, like in regards to our generation. So I want to make something happen.
Okay. I love that idea. So there is still something with the feeling for you tangibly about brick and mortar, right? Going into a physical location, trying stuff on, right? Because we talked about that in previous episodes, that now with the prevalence of online, especially with COVID, when stores were actually closed and you couldn't go anywhere, so much of the commerce that happens right now is online, and then bots are a whole other thing. I mean, there's something you miss about, right? Going in, open up that box, putting it on your feet, doing the little mirror down at the bottom with your little outfit, seeing how they look, right? Wearing them out the store, right? Like that's what you did back in the day, right? But that doesn't exist anymore. So you still think there's a place for that?
In like not in the near future. Honestly, I'm kind of skeptical about it. Sometimes I'm like, everything's going to be straight online, because even with certain things opening back up recently, I was in New York and it's like, they're not even sending quality things to the store.
No, a lot of stores aren't getting full inventory. I've heard that even from places like Foot Locker. Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, everything's online. They're trying to do everything online. Don't get me wrong, commerce is cheaper, of course. But, you know, we'll be able to go back outside in due time and do everything close to normal. And I just feel like we just need a space. There's, like, in the tri-state area, I feel like New York is oversaturated. Yeah. So we have Connecticut and Jersey. So it's kind of like, I want to provide something for Connecticut.
Okay.
And just more options, because I know for me, I like to like jump around, go over here, go over there, or I'm going to Philly today. So like, just to give that space and opportunity for someone to enjoy and get a feel of, I would like to provide that. So yeah. Did I answer your question?
You know, you did. Yeah, you did. I like where you're at with this. You have, see, that's the thing about entrepreneurs, right? It's part vision, part tactical, right? And it's finding that healthy balance of what's the vision in my head versus, what is the day-to-day to keep these lights on, right? Like, and that is the balance you're constantly walking. But in order for you to be that true visionary and to get to your ultimate end goal, you have to do both, right? And kind of do them both well. And that's why not everybody's an entrepreneur, not everybody's good at it, right? Because this shit is hard, right? Like, it ain't like, oh, let me just go out here in these streets and get some things and do whatever. Like, nah, that's not how this goes, right? Like, it is a challenge. And we love what you're doing, Dali. We are going to be talking next about some specific women's launches. And I know Gabby has some strong feelings that are going to be coming out. So
I know, I've been staying kind of quiet, but I got
So we're going to be talking about these women's launches coming up next. Stay tuned, guys. Hey, guys, we are back with our girl Dali of Sinners Love Sneakers. And ladies, there have been a lot of women's launches lately. The Concord Sketch 11s, the Air Jordan 4 sales, the Jordan 1 sort of redo of the satins, right? Like, there's been a lot of women. And I know, Gabby, you have some strong opinions. Okay? And I'm gonna let you get all your takes off and literally empty the clip. Actually, folks, she might reload and put a second clip in there, okay? She's going to empty the entire mag, all right?
Oh, I'm ready.
Because it's going to be wild. All I'm going to say is this. Real talk, the Jordan 4 sales to me, meh, whatever. I don't, if you want to, if people like them, cool. But again, they weren't made for me, so that's cool. And guess what? I'm not that kind of dude that's like, oh, let me get that in my size, whatever. Like, nah, it's not for me, and I'm cool with that. Let the ladies have their shine. Satin 1, same thing. Let y'all have y'all shine. I'm good. Concord Sketch 11s, do it. Like, those aren't they weren't for us. They were ladies releases, and I'm cool with that. And just like that, I'm gonna cede the floor to you two and let y'all go to work.
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump on in here real quick. So I appreciate that you are a gentleman when it comes to women's sneakers. You are one in a cajillion in the sneaker world, let me tell you. Love you guys, but like we keep it real here on the Kicks and Shit show. One thing I do want to say is that you said there's a lot of launches for ladies. Let's take a look at that statement, right?
Well,
because
maybe not a lot.
We've had 3. 3 is not a lot in any scale of numbers. Like, just keeping it real, like, not to call you out because, you've been me, but 3 is not a lot. And I just feel like it's increasingly harder. I've joked before about the Concord sketches. I'm assuming I'm taking an L no matter what. And like with the sale 4 off-whites, most of the people that I know that actually copped a pair are dudes. I mean, and Dali, we talked about this a little bit offline. How do you feel about this? I know this was some of the inspiration to create your brand and your concept, but like, do you feel like there's a lot out there for women, or is it just a lot of marketing and it kind of hides behind it with these extended sizes for men?
I don't think there's enough for women. I mean, of course, there's a ton of women's sneakers, but the hype sneakers, no, there's not enough. And I think that's a very good point that they should look into, is maybe try to target women to win these raffles, considering the bots and everything else that's going on. So it's like, I can see where you're saying, like, is it really for women? Because lo and behold, probably next week, we're going to be seeing a bunch of dudes posting up. And
already? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've already had someone send me a message like, oh, I won, but that's not the size I wanted. Yep. And I'm like, you're not even supposed to have it. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some of that too, where guys are like, let me trade for this in my size. I'm like, so you're just snatching up sizes so you can get your hands on them for the resale? Like, to me, that defeats the whole purpose of making something to play for the women. And like, as someone who has talked about this with even multiple guy friends in the industry that are like, well, women can always get men's releases, I'm going to say nah for that one. Like, for the longest time, most of the cool hype releases that we were talking about, Dali, only came into a size 8. That was the smallest. So most women couldn't wear those unless they stuffed socks in their shoes, we never had a fair opportunity until recently. And like, shouts to brands like Jordan Brand who are starting to make more of these women's launches. But like, I already know, and this episode comes out right after the Air Jordan 1s come out, your girl's taking an L. I'm going to be calling you because I want to see if Dali can get me a pair on the fly.
I will say this. You thought you were taking the L on the sketches, but you got them.
Yeah, but I got like a fake W on that one because they took like over 2 weeks to get here. Every website conked out. The Nike sneakers app did me so dirty. Normally, I've gotten used to my 5 ways to sundown of getting notified that I took an L. Like, you know how they'll tell you in the moment, you go back into the app, there's a notification, then you get an email, then there's like a carrier pigeon that drops a note that tells you didn't get it, and then a week later you get a weird email that's like, nah. That's what I'm used to.
Stop now. They just keep going.
I'm used to that level of rejection. So like my 3rd time on Champs, and shouts to Champs because that's actually where I get most of my sneakers. I was pleasantly surprised. It was like the heavens opened up and they were like, oh, we actually are going to process your order. And I was like, dread until they're in my hand. I don't believe it. But they are here.
But on Twitter, there's a few pages. I've like sneaker shout outs and stuff like that. So I constantly get these tweets. And if you pay attention to your phone, I've gotten plenty of sneakers just for like when they restock. If you move fast enough, you can get a few pair. So that's why if we sell out an inventory, I'm almost sure that they're going to restock. Like they're restocking DMP still.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like almost every weekend I get a tweet about DMPs. So yeah, I don't know why they keep doing us ladies like that. I think I didn't indulge in the Jordan 4 sales because I knew what I would want for them.
And it wasn't.
It's just like the point, and I don't cater to that audience at the present moment. So they're going to be looking at me like, girl, please.
No, I respect it though. So what is it that you look for then in these women's sneakers? Because Gerard and I talked about this, and you and I talked about this when we went live, that is a lot of this marketing, are these sneakers really designed with women in mind? I think yes, to a degree, but like the gray sixes that are coming out, I think they're fire because they're fire, not because they're a women's launch. To me, they don't speak women's launch. They remind me of the metallic silver sixes that came out that, in my personal opinion, last year were overpriced. And you can still find those on sale because no one's going to pay $220 or $240 for a pair of sixes when lighter shoes and lows are in fashion right now. Yeah. So I feel like this is their way of trying to do like a test and learn in the market, which is really smart. But what makes them women, and what do you think brands are doing that's winning for women, and what is missing the mark?
Let me see. I really have to think about this because I try to not tap into it because it's just, I don't even know how to explain it without sounding like.
So you sound like how you want to sound. It's a safe space.
It's a very safe space.
What I sound. So I just feel like they're not reaching out to women in all aspects. They're shooting for influencers. Okay, you can still have those, but what about the people in the common grounds like you and I? You know what I'm saying? We influence too. Just because we don't have behind our name doesn't mean we don't influence. So I feel like they're just focused on one set of like age group. You know what I'm saying? So I think if they can expand with that, I think it would be better.
Dali, you ain't gotta call out no names, because I know exactly who you're thinking about, because Gabby and I talk about these people all the time. And look, it's not even about like hate, because I'm not like, this is love for everybody, do you, whatever. It's not about hate, but it's like, yo, the same people and the same types of looking people get those shoes every single time. Because you go to their Instagram page, boom, already up. And I'm like, what the fuck? To your point, Dali, they're not out here selling it to, how should I put this? To the every woman, right? It's to specific women, right? Like a handful. It's the same things. And Russ Bengston, well-known sneakerhead, he talked about this and he said, look, you wrote a whole long 40 tweet thread about it's this constant thing. Same thing happens every time. Everybody gets hyped over these releases. The same 5 influencers get them. And everybody's like, oh, what's up with these L's? And if you watch, because you be on Twitter, right? Or Instagram, on Saturday morning, I see nothing but L posts I'm like, damn.
Oh, yeah. It's become a joke now.
Yeah, that's all it is.
About L's.
Yeah, everybody just rushing to put their L's up. I'm like, yo, why y'all so happy to talk about losing? Like, that don't sound great to me.
Right.
No, it's very stressful.
And yeah, I'm just like, okay, like, all right, we get it now. Can you kind of expand who you give the sneakers to? I don't know, but how do you get through on that? Like, who do you talk to?
Well,
I mean, God knows already. I ask the PR teams, I ask the people questions, and we get this like similar type answers that there isn't an answer. Basically, there's not really an answer, which I get it. I've worked in PR. I've been on the PR side as well. I get it. That's what you're supposed to do when you're in those roles is, those are private conversations that are privy to. But I would love to know what opportunities that there are going to do for women's lead launches, right? Like is Foot Locker going to give women only a chance to play? Like, I don't want to be using all my points for head starts for shoes that I'm not going to be getting anyway. Like, I think Champs and Foot Locker do some great women's programs and initiatives. Like, why not make this part of it?
I will say, look, here's the big thing, and we know this, talk about it all the time. This is commodity, right? And this is capitalism. And so this is what they think about. They're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Because this is how every economy works. Sneakers, houses, clothes, whatever. It's all the same thing. Select few people have the dopest shit. And what does that create? Envy among everybody else, right? So all you doing is constantly like, damn, gotta get that, right? So you're the hamster on the wheel. You just running. Now, you may get lucky once in 10, 12, 15 years, and you might cop one of them. All right, cool. But what do you actually do the rest of the time? You spend money on the regular stuff, right? Which ultimately is what they want anyway. Listen, Jordan Brand, Nike, Adidas, Puma, they ain't sitting there going, all right, we hope we get this much money from... Listen, it's X amount of dollars we pull at the end of the year. Cool. We got our cash, right? That's how sneakers make money for us. But if we limit the releases and get people hyped off it, all right, we're going to go after it. And one of the things I like is this idea of going after sneakers that, to your point, Dali, not everybody else is going after. And so talk to us a little bit more about that restock market, because the DMPs, to your point, by the way, those Jordan 6 DMPs, which I've showed before, I love those shoes. All black with the gold. Like, talk about the restock market and how people can keep their eyes open for that.
So, as you know, just like the stock market, it changes on a daily basis. So what I've noticed is, of course, when there's a sneaker close to coming out, of course, it's going to be crazy, right? And then, you know, it's weird because sometimes I've seen sneakers really be up there and they'll just they'll just drop. They'll drop and it's like, oh, dag, I could have just waited or whatever. So it's tricky. You have to pay attention every single day. But there are some sneakers that you know are just, they're not gonna go anywhere. This is it. Like, for instance, the Sacai waffles. Those are never gonna come. They're steady right now. It's like $750-ish price.
Yep, you and I were talking about these ones too, because I have my little wish list in my head of things that I want, and the Sacai's are one of them.
So, and then I think those might even go up even more once fall comes around and they do
with the new ones.
The new ones. Mm-hmm. So it's really tricky. I use StockX as my guideline.
Okay.
So I go up there and I pay attention. So, you know, SB Dunks, now they're going to be crazy. It doesn't even matter the colorway. It could be the corniest color. It could be doo-doo brown.
He said doo-doo brown.
You know those 7-Elevens are going to make an appearance back in the U.S. sometime. Mm-hmm.
So those are always going to be a hit. Just like the school colors, the Dunk Lows. Like, look at those things. The Syracuse, Kentucky, all of those things. Is that thing popping up in my... Anyway, so those are selling like crazy. Little $100 sneakers now $300-$400.
Yep, the resale, nuts.
Wild.
It sticks. These prices, they stick. Like, and you're lucky if you come across a reseller who just so happens to have stash and they're pulling it out. But even that is like pulling teeth because they're so greedy. It's like, dude, you've been sitting on these for a month and no, not even a month, a year and 3 days, and you don't want to take it down a notch. It's like, how greedy can you be?
Mm-hmm.
You bring up a good point, Dali.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not really like that. When I have stuff and it's sitting there, it's just like, what's the point? Like, just let it go. Don't sell yourself short. But come on, you could $50, $75. Like, you can't be that greedy. Like,
work with people, yeah.
Work with people, because the point is to make sure everybody's pockets are happy. It's about negotiation. These people want to be greedy and just and then what? What are you gonna do?
Well, that's the thing, right? You got these bots and you got 40 pairs, and you're like, you're gonna sit on those 40 pairs for over a year. Because here's the thing, you paid them up. Let's say you use bots and you got credit cards, right? Unless you paid that all off, that's accruing interest all this time. Like, yo, like, you gonna sell those or what? Like, what's the deal?
But you know what I think the new wave is? Getting all of the sneakers and the raffles, the $20 here, the $20 raffle. Have you guys see those?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
or like the beater boxes, things like that. Yeah.
That was a slot, $40 a slot. Come on, you know how much money they're making?
Oh, stupid to spin that wheel? Uh-huh.
Yeah, people
a lot of money
just to win a pair of Travis Scotts. I see it all the time, late night on my Instagram. I'm like, these people really going crazy and really throwing the money, like, and you know they win. I think they win, but they better. I mean, because they can give people money on Cash App, and Cash App does not play. All right.
Gabby knows all about that.
Blocked from Cash App right now, so I know all about how it doesn't play. But I blocked them too, so it's cool. It's mutual.
Gabby had quite an experience with Cash App, which our listeners all know. Well, folks, we are having so much fun with Dali. We're going to be back because it is our favorite segment coming up next, and it's Shoe and Tell. But this time, it's Shoe and Tell all about our guest. This is the Dali show for Shoe and Tell. It's all her favorite kicks, so stay tuned, folks. What's up, guys? So we are going to round out the show with America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell. But it's not about me and Gabby today. It's all about Dali and some of her favorite shoes. So, Dali, go ahead. Kick us off. What you got?
All right. So, recently I decided I would tap into the basketball Yeezy. Ooh. So at first I'm like, oh, okay. Did I do a bad buy? Because I'm like, I just know they're going to be bulky. But I'm in love, y'all. I'm in love.
Hope dreams. I like it.
There we go. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They do this cool.
It's these virtual backgrounds, man. They mess with our
virtual background screws up. Yeah, that's how they do. There you go.
And they're really, really, really comfy and good ankle support. So even my son was like, "Oh, you might have to get me these for basketball season."
And you were like, "What?"
Okay,
love it.
And resale price actually goes down every week from what I can tell. I get a few notifications like, boom, here you go. Let's see.
She got more heat. She got more heat.
I like it.
I would have to go with the bodega ponies.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that with the bodega pairs. Mm-hmm.
Very comfy. I was able to get these on a regular humbug. I went on the site and I got them, no problem, no issue.
Oh, that's impressive.
So that was really cool. What else do we have? We have these good old babies. I had to get these because, you know, it was the first time Jordan put tie-dye, a pattern on.
Those are cute.
Okay.
So you got them in the dead stock without the laces. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what. I might sell these.
She's like, I don't know.
Wait, what size are they?
Let's see.
Gabby's like, take my money.
I've got 8.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
Okay, so these are the first pair of sneakers. No, second pair of sneakers that I bought for resale at a reasonable price. My first ones were the Sean Weatherspoons.
The Air Max 97s.
Yeah, but he's on timeout right now. So
he's on timeout right now.
I mean, sneakers are still fire even if he's on timeout. But yes, I hear you.
And these are like the second pair.
Oh yeah, the human race.
Okay. These are like, they're super comfy. But I noticed Adidas, just about everything is comfy.
Yeah.
Just about everything. Even my youngest son, like, he's not into Jordans and stuff because he has a wider foot, but he loves everything Adidas. He's like, oh, Ma, can you give me these? Because they're always so comfortable. So I do have to say that about Adidas.
That's a good point you brought up right there. It is the boost technology for Adidas that makes it so comfortable. But, Gabby, we talk about this a lot, and you just mentioned it, Dali. Yo, if you, and not even talking about like crazy wide. If you're an average wide foot, Nikes and Jordans get you feeling kind of funny when you put your feet in them. You're like, hey, man, I ain't really vibing with these things right now.
That's true.
Like the Jordan 4, for instance. I don't have a crazy wide foot, but I know that joint will kill my pinky toe.
Really? More than a one. Interesting.
So it's like, that's why I wasn't too pressed with those anyway, because I know how a Jordan 4 like just kills my feet.
Oh, so, see, I love a 4. Your girl, that was my first favorite silhouette when it came to Jordans, are the 4s, the Toros.
Okay.
Yeah. They still make me feel some kind of way.
And the 4s, they have some clean colorways.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
facts.
Yeah, I probably got one.
They gotta feel good. I feel you again. You know.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And that pinky toe hurt is different.
Yeah, oh. that does hit different when that hurts. That is different for sure.
So let's see what's next. Oh, so these were a popular summer thing here.
I can't wait. This is like Christmas morning right now.
Oh,
it's so good. Oh, that's nice.
I'm trying to see where the little gadgets are.
The little gadgets.
These
we got that Velcro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you kind of play around with them. I don't know where they are. Sorry.
I feel like those kind of slid under the radar when they came out too. It's like I think people caught on after the fact that those were super hype.
And I believe it was like a Japanese release or a Korea, Japan, one of them. But yeah, so here are the little gadgets that come with it that you can kind of
okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I remember those. Yep.
You know, put them here and there. Cool little sneaker. I don't get too busy with them because I'm very reckless. And I'll mess around and lose one of these things and be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She said I'm reckless.
I love it.
They're cool. They're a cool little sneaker. I'm glad I got these. What else do we have?
So I have to ask though, because your outfit is so cute and that top kind of matches the sneakers. Would you rock those with a pair of bike shorts? Because you know your girl is all about that bike shorts gang.
I might rock it with a pair of biker shorts with a little lace at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. See?
#,
bike short gang. Yes. Okay.
That's right.
We got it.
It's really about comfort because, you know, I'm always moving and I want to be comfortable and I don't want to be like,
no, absolutely not. Bike shorts, it's a way of life. It is.
It's a way of life.
It is. So what's next? Oh, these. All right. So I was so thirsty to get these. And when I got them, I was like, okay. They're cool though.
Okay.
So they kind of became my like bust down sneakers because I thought, I don't know, for some reason these ran big to me, but look at you see I have
toe
this back crease.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you know, I play around in them.
They got a small toe box, man. It'll be a little bit wider.
Yeah. But Jordan, the 6s, I like 6s. They're pretty.
I do too.
They're pretty cool.
What I said the other day, do you think I think the 6s and 7s look pretty much identical. Like, right? It looked like almost the exact same shoe. Like,
it's like a remix.
Or less is like flimsy.
Yeah, the materials are lighter. It's true. Usually they're thicker on the 6s.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they just like, I kind of used to look at them like bootleg version of 6.
We keep it real over here, guys. We keep it real.
These. So remember, you know, there was like a little wave when they were talking junk about black Air Force Ones. Yeah. And I was like, who got something to say about black Air Force Ones? These are my babies.
Okay.
Oh, those are clean though.
They are very clean. Gabby, that's a you kind of shoe, Gabs.
And guess what, Gabs? No crease. And I'll be running around in these babies. So
that's impressive. Do you wear the crease blockers? Have you tried those?
No.
There's things that you can put in your shoe, in your toe box to prevent from creasing. But like, because I have a wider foot, there's no extra space in Jordan 1s for the no crease device. But I'm curious to know, like, do they work and are they comfortable? I feel like the answer's got to be no. to comfort and yes to working.
Yes, I
don't know.
agree.
I'm gonna look into that because I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna bring you back. We're gonna do a little test. We're gonna try it out together. We're gonna be bending in weird positions that normally make us feel sick to do so in our sneakers. Like the celebrity that creased the sneaker. What? There was like some female celebrity that was a Demi Lovato. I don't know.
Somebody.
Like
and everybody was like,
yes. It was Anna Kendrick was bending down, and the sneaker was like this, and the sneaker heads united, and they were like a collective like. It was amazing.
Because nothing worse than that crease mark in them fresh, crispy pairs. You like, yo.
Yeah.
It just make you look at the sneaker like.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like.
We were cool, but like, I think it's time we start seeing other people.
Basically, like, you're a dub.
You're a dub.
Yeah, like the first time I saw that crease in the 6s, I was so heated.
Mm-hmm.
My friends were like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like,
"Don't you
look down at my sneakers?"
And ones I feel like crease, and some of the materials, the ones crease a lot. And
man,
I love them, but it's a hard life.
It is, man. It's tough because you get your shoes out here and you just start like protecting them.
Shoe I like with a crease. I could tolerate that crease.
Okay.
And the ones?
Yeah, I could tolerate.
I get that.
You know where I don't want it in my 3s. I'll tell you that. No creasing in my 3s.
But 3s crease.
I know they do.
Like, especially when they came out with the second, the re-release of the cement 3s, and they came a little bit smaller. I don't know if you noticed that. I normally rock a 7 men's, and I got a 7. But I mean, you know as much as any of us. If it doesn't fit, tough loss. You got to keep it. You can either keep it or sell it. Like, so I squeeze my little tootsies into those cement 3s. I'm like one step away from going barefoot, which is not my style, but just to make a little extra room in there, take out the insoles because I don't know what it was. For those, it felt like a half a size small.
By the way, that's a trick a lot of people know, the insoles. But if you got like, if the bottoms of your feet kind of funny and you like, it's a little rough because if you're gonna walk in them joints, they're gonna hurt your feet when you get out with no insole. So good for space. May not be good for plantar fascia and the rest of like your overall orthopedic health. Yeah. Just a little PSA.
Shouts to Dr. Scholl's instead that have that gel insert that you can put in there instead. Just under the ball of your feet, you know what I mean?
Let's see. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention? You know who has really good collaborations that I appreciate? Olivia Kim.
Oh, okay.
I have a pair that I really like. The Moab. Are they the Moab? They have full body boot on them. Really cute pair of sneakers, and they're super comfy. They kind of favor Huarache.
Oh, okay. Listen.
That's one shoe that I never really got into, the Huaraches. I've heard they're super comfortable, but because they run so narrow, that's why I've never tried them. But I like the way they look.
I have a pair that I will not let go of, and I got them when they first started making a comeback. Oh, I have the gold ones. Remember when the gold ones came out? I still have those.
That was fire. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then I have the original colorway. I think it was blue, green, and black and white.
Okay.
I will never they got all types of stains.
We're gonna send you some Jason Mark. That's what you need. Little Jason.
Don't worry. We'll send you a whole little Jason Mark care package to get them joints cleaned up.
All right. So last but not least, these are my babies, man, and they're just my cactus plant.
Okay. Look at
they're so good.
Yo, she just out here like, those are my.
I love it too because I'm sitting literally surrounded by sneakers, and I'm over here in my head. I'm like, I own nothing. I have nothing.
This was I was very lucky.
Those are hot.
I knew somebody at the time, and they called me like, "Oh, these are coming out," and I was like, "Oh, for sure," because I wasn't tuned in like that. I think because I was in school or something, so I really wasn't tuned into the internet. So I kind of missed it. And then at the last minute when it was like, raffles were done and things like that. And then I got the text and I was like, yes, God is good.
Relationships though, right? And I think that is the perfect place for us to wrap. It's that's what this is about, right? Your ability to connect and tap in and get these different things. Really, if you're trying to build that connection, all right, you can go the one route, which is the bot route. If you don't want to go that route, it's about the community and the relationships, right? Who do you know? Who can you build? What can you help somebody with, right? Similar to like how people used to find out about music back in the day. They would trade cassette tapes of concerts and be like, yo, you got to get into this, whatever. And that's how you would build up that community, and that's how you would get stuff. So people, be good to people out there. That's how you get good stuff. Dali, where can the people find you and Sinners Love Sneakers?
All right. So my personal page is Dali _J _. I don't know. Someone gave me the J one time and I kind of just ran with it. So it's Dali _J _. That's the personal page. And on that page, you can find kicks, style, food, jokes, a little bit of everything. And then there's Sinners Love Sneakers, and yeah, and you can just find all the releases. We also take personal requests. So, I have a lot of people who say, okay, well, I know these are coming out in a week or so. Can you find these for me? Because right now, majority of the inventory is Jordan, but that doesn't mean I don't have the resources to get other things. So I get a lot of, I guess I'm becoming like a personal shopper in a way.
You're the plug.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, someone called me the Griselda of sneakers. Okay, I think I like that, but I'm gonna let it sink a little bit. But and then the kids call me the sneaker fairy. I think that was cute.
I like that. I like it.
So yeah, Sinners Love Sneakers. Don't be afraid to send us a message if you don't see see something on the page, or you see something you like. We'll be always able to get it. Your coins have to be right. That's the thing.
Listen, got to be right.
Don't be coming out with no funny money. Your money best be right.
Yeah, no Cash App here.
The question is, are the coins correct? You got to come correct. You know what I'm saying? But luckily for me, I'm doing this for the people, for the culture. So there's not too much greed when it comes to me. I just try to play fair because I want people to come back.
Yep.
No doubt. That is dope. And that's a great way for us to wrap. Guys, another awesome episode of Kicks and Shit Show. You know where to find us. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that. New episode drops on Mondays. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Ciao.